My name is Julia and I'm a dentist. Today I would like to start with the statement that every child deserves the best everyday caries protection. It's a statement I think we can all agree on, but why this statement and why is it still relevant to shout about? And what can we and you do to help children get the best caries prevention they need and deserve? Most of us were born with perfect teeth. All we have to do is keep it that way. This is a quote from Professor Emeritus Svante Twettman from the Department of Cariology at Copenhagen University. And it's a little wake-up call because we all know that for the vast majority of us, this is not as simple as it sounds. In England, many children experience obvious dental caries in their primary dentition. A recent survey from the National Dental Epidemiology Programme found that 11% of 3-year-olds, 23.7% of 5-year-olds, and 46% of 8-year-olds in England had experienced dental caries. This also shows that children have more untreated caries as they get older. Data also shows that prevalence of all caries lesions, including enamel and/or dentinal, has increased since 2015, now affecting 29.3% of 5-year-old children. Prevention is the single most effective way to control caries and reduce the burden of physical, emotional, developmental, and economic consequences. So there are many, many good reasons to be observant on caries and caries risk early on. But what general risk factors put children at risk of caries? And are there any specific caries risk factors among families and children? Let's have a look. There are many risk factors associated with childhood caries. Certain periods during growing up can be characterized as risk ages, where fundamental changes in all children can result in increased caries risk. The first risk age is between 1 and 3 years old, when the child is in their primary dentition. The diet expands and changes radically, and the child is dependent on the parent's knowledge and ability to provide adequate toothbrushing. The second risk age is between 5 and 7 years old, when the adult dentition starts to erupt. The occlusal surfaces of the first permanent molars often erupt with deep and complicated fissures. It is well known that these are especially prone to fissure caries in the first year after development due to their complex morphology and challenges in accessing for brushing. The third risk age is between the ages of 12 and 15, where no less than 76 new tooth surfaces emerge in individuals who are undergoing hormonal and dietary habit changes. There are also important life incidents during a child's upbringing that can impact their caries risk. For example, chronic illnesses such as asthma, diabetes, an upset in the family structure at their home, and changes in their mental health. Sugar consumption has constantly risen over time. Frequent snacking and the consumption of processed food, and especially sugary soft drinks, lead to a high sugar intake. Evidence shows us that the intake of free sugars are now over 10% of the total daily energy intake, with the intake in Europe varying from 12 to 25% in children, which of course results in increased caries risk. We know that snacking is a normal behavior, as studies have shown that the average child will have around 7 daily intakes of food, which often may include sugary snacks. The frequent sugar intake increases the risk of caries. So, why is sugar so dangerous when it comes to caries risk? It is because a diet high in sugar lowers the pH, creating a dysbiotic environment that favors acid-tolerant and acidogenic bacteria, rather than the beneficial bacteria that prefer a near-neutral environment. The biofilm adapts to the acidic environment by promoting acid-producing bacteria and bacterial species that can tolerate acids at the expense of those that cannot tolerate acidic conditions. The net result will be an overgrowth of acidic bacteria and less diversity. The bacteria that dominate the cariogenic plaque belong to the groups Streptococci mutans, Lactobacillus, Actinomyces, and Veillonella species. The sugar load also promotes extracellular polysaccharide production of the acid-producing bacteria, which subsequently thickens the biofilm and increases its adhesion to the tooth surface. We've painted quite a sad picture, but what can we do to reduce caries rate in our children? I'd like to introduce you to arginine. Arginine is an essential amino acid required for protein synthesis. Because of the amine groups, shown as the dark blue molecules, arginine has a strongly positive charge, meaning it can be partnered with other molecules. This characteristic can be utilized to deliver molecules to negatively charged areas, and this is the power of arginine. And why is arginine interesting for toothpaste? Because arginine can penetrate oral biofilms, modulate oral biofilm pH, and facilitate the delivery of calcium carbonate to open dentine tubules. It is found naturally in saliva in small amounts, and if you add it to the oral cavity in combination with other ingredients, you can do magic. And this is exactly what the sugar acid neutralizer technology does. The SAN technology combines 1.5% arginine with insoluble calcium compounds, which has shown to help balance the biofilm pH. And the way it works is that in a caries process, cariogenic bacteria in the biofilm produce acids from carbohydrates, lowering the pH with risk of caries. When adding more arginine into the mouth, health-associated argiolytic bacteria will convert arginine and produce a base, ammonia, which will neutralize the acids, resulting in a raise in the pH to a non-caries critical level. In this way, it helps balance the pH, creating a healthier environment. While a traditional fluoride toothpaste only protects the teeth by slowing down the caries progression on a mineral level, a fluoride toothpaste with sugar acid neutralizer technology also affects the ability of the plaque bacteria to produce acids, the main cause of caries. I'm therefore delighted to introduce that Colgate's new kids toothpaste for 6+ contains both 1450 part per million fluoride and the SAN technology, which is clinically proven to provide better caries protection than a traditional kids fluoride toothpaste. But I'm not expecting you to take my word for it, so let's take a look at the clinical evidence. When balancing the pH to a healthier pH, the dissolution of tooth minerals will decrease. This is demonstrated by this in situ study, where it was shown that a fluoride toothpaste with arginine plus calcium prevents demineralization. Yes, it even gains mineral compared to a traditional fluoride toothpaste. The study actually shows that the fluoride formula with arginine and calcium provides 4 times greater remineralization than fluoride toothpaste alone. So you can explain to parents that it makes the enamel 4 times more protected. These charts provide clinical outcomes from 2 independent randomized parallel clinical trials, where children had up to 20% less new cavities over 2 years. The 2-year study conducted in China with over 5,600 children compared the use of a traditional fluoride toothpaste to a fluoride toothpaste containing arginine and calcium. It showed that after 2 years of use, the group using the arginine fluoride toothpaste had 18% less new cavities when measured using DMFT. Another similar large clinical trial conducted in Thailand with over 5,000 children showed that by adding arginine and calcium to a fluoride toothpaste, the children developed 20% less new cavities. Colgate's range of toothpaste for children includes First Teeth from 0 to 5 years old. It contains 1,000 parts per million fluoride following the Delivering Better Oral Health Toolkit. It is SLS-free and does not contain any artificial colours, flavours or sweeteners. It has a gentle formula with a mild natural fruit flavour to help compliance. And then, of course, the big smiles for children aged 6+. It contains 1450 parts per million fluoride and the SAN technology powered by arginine. It is also SLS-free and has a colour-changing technology to encourage adequate brushing time. So to sum up, caries is still a major issue among many children, and if left untreated, it can have a huge impact on a child's well-being and family unit. we should be aware that children face different age-associated risk factors in certain periods of their childhood. One of the main risk factors is the high consumption of a sugary diet, which is currently far above the WHO's recommendation of 10% of the total daily energy intake in the UK, which is set also to help reduce caries risk. With high sugar intake, the oral biofilm easily becomes dysbiotic, favouring the bad bacteria that produce sugar acids. Colgate's innovative sugar acid neutralizer technology is designed to help reduce sugar acids in the oral biofilm. Clinical studies have shown that a fluoride toothpaste with SAN technology provides better caries protection than a traditional fluoride toothpaste. So, with Colgate's new kids toothpaste range, you can feel confident recommending the best toothpaste for everyday caries protection. Thank you for listening.